Okay, good afternoon, everyone. And we will get started. But before we do, I have a couple of short announcements. Number one is after today, we are going to be in a little bit of a recess until September 4th. I am going to, and I think it's been posted, but in case some of you are not aware of this yet, I will be going to New Mexico to help facilitate a graduation and participate and facilitate a ceremony for one of my students who has graduated into the Buddhist chaplaincy world. So that is in New Mexico. There's a Buddhist temple, monastery / university that offers programs like that. It's a 2-year program, so she's at the end of that. I think some of you may have met her. I think I brought her in and introduced her to the group at one point. Her name is Erica. So she will be graduating that, and so I will be taking a road trip. I decided to take a drive. I haven't driven across the country like that in quite some time, so I'm looking forward to it. And then so we will meet Monday, this coming Monday, for the elephant's footprint. And then after next Monday, we will have a little bit of a recess until the 8th. So after today and Monday, we will come back here on the 4th, September, and then the 8th at the Cascadia Hall to continue. However, don't use me as an excuse to not continue to practice. Yay, the boss is gone, kind of thing, right? So just please, if I may inspire you and encourage you to keep practicing. Again, it's something that it's a practice, and it's something that we have to do somewhat regularly to be able to have the benefits, just like you do with anything else. If you want to keep good heart health, you have to walk a little bit and exercise a little bit. If you want to keep your muscles strong, we have to do some physical exercise. Same thing with meditation, right? We want to keep this quality of mindfulness going and strong and continue to develop. We have to practice mindfulness of breathing. So please continue to practice, and I hope you all practice well, and then I look forward to seeing you when I return. Also, there was one more. Yes. Last week, I had mentioned that for this part of the meditation, I would start to introduce another aspect of the 4 foundations of mindfulness, and that is mindfulness of the sensations of the body. And that is just introducing a different level of awareness to the experience. And that's usually done in the same way when we do body scans, but we do that with a different posture in mind and a certain awareness. So I was going to start that, but I realized that, well, I'm not going to be here for a few weeks, so I will introduce that when I come back. So today we will continue with the normal way in the body scans for relaxation technique. And then we'll continue with the 5 hindrances to meditation. And just to also share with you kind of what I have in mind is along with the 5 hindrances to meditation, these are important parts of the practice that we want to become aware of. There are also another set of dhammas, or we could say mental qualities that work alongside with the hindrances, and these are called the awakening factors. There are 7 of them. They're the 7 factors of awakening. So once we finish the hindrances, we'll get into a series of talks about the awakening factors for this group here. Sound good? Okay. Good. I'm so happy you guys all agree, because if you didn't, I would be lost. I had no idea what to do. So it's great that you're also agreeable and willing to participate. Okay. That's all I have for us before we begin. I hope you are all doing well, and things in your lives are going pretty good. So let us begin. And so let's begin with a little bit of a check-in. And we're going to check in with the heart. And by that, I mean just take a moment to reflect and try to bring mindful awareness to how the heart feels. Not a physical heart, but our spiritual heart. The core of our spiritual beings. Is there something in the heart that is heavy? Something that we have been carrying around for whatever reasons. Could be what is going on in the world, could be what's going on more specifically in our lives. And just check in. And then we make the conscious decision to, well, first be aware of this and not to throw it away because it's an aspect of our lives. But just for this meditation session, we're going to mindfully just set it aside and say, okay, right now is just a time to take care of my heart. And I am going to practice to the best of my ability why I am here today. I'm going to try to calm the mind and open the heart. It's pretty much what we try to focus on here. And so it's a way that we could just let go of what we're hanging on to, let go of the situation or conditions that are making the heart a little heavy. And we're just going to say, okay, I'm just going to set it aside. And then after the meditation, or maybe in a day or two, if you choose to pick it up again, then that's up to you. But at least we'll be picking it up in a little different place. Hopefully we'll have a little more calm and peace in the heart and mind, and then we can deal with the situation accordingly. So it's not that we're running away, we're just going to set it aside. It's because when the heart is good, everything else is good. Just about everything else is good. And so we begin by just getting our head and spine in a line. Very simple way. We relax the shoulders. We just bring a little extra alertness to our posture. And we try to settle into a posture that is comfortable. We don't have to twist ourselves up into a pretzel or hold our hands any particular way. It's just we want to allow the body to become calm and still. The main thing is we keep our head and spine in line, relax the shoulders, and just try to keep our upper torso straight. And that prevents us from falling asleep. Well, it helps prevent us. And if you find that you're one that struggles with falling asleep in meditation, you would like to stay awake a little longer and try to practice, then you could just crack your eyes open a little bit and have a nice soft gaze down in front of you. And so now let's begin with our body scan, or body sweep it's called. Let's begin with the face and head. And all we're trying to do is just hold our awareness, which is basically holding the mind's attention at the felt sense of this particular body part. And as we move along, we just move mind's attention. We try to hold the attention there. And very simply, we just want to be aware of any sensations that we have. And then we make the conscious effort to relax and soften as we go. And so this is a twofold experience. For one, we are consciously making effort to relax and soften the body. It's very, very beneficial, helps with pain, many things. But when we are doing this exercise, where are we not at the moment, or less likely to be? we're not spending too much time in headquarters, up in thinking and planning and remembering. And so this exercise also calms the mind. So it's a very powerful exercise. And it's also, once we get familiar with it, we can use it in many applications, many applications. It's pretty much the hub of the practice. And so let's begin with our face and head. And soften and relax the face and head. And we could do that in a simple, systematic way, like just taking the eyes, relaxing, softening the eyes, all those muscles behind the eyes, around the eyes, and the nose, forehead. Or we can just keep a felt sense of the way that the head, face and head feels, and do it that way. So it's up to you. And the main thing we're trying to do is just relax and soften the face and head. And most people notice, and I know I notice, lots of little tension points in the face and head. Lots of little tightness and tension points. And it's also a good time to brighten the mind with a smile. Smiling with our eyes, putting a nice, gentle, pleasant smile on our face, not in an artificial way, but in a sincere way. And this is what we call piti, P-I-T-I, piti, and it is called joy. And so we are brightening the mind with joy. And if you notice, the energy of the mind changes. It's a very energetic, lifting. It's very uplifting. Brings energy to the mind and helps us focus. And this piti is one of the awakening factors. It's something to be cultivated. And even if it's just smiling at the moment, how wonderful. I have the physical health and the environment and the cognitive ability to practice meditation at this point in my life. That within itself is something to smile about. It's smiling at the present moment. I'm taking care of my heart. It's very important. Many hours in the day and lots of moments, and we don't use those moments to take care of the heart or the mind. So we brighten the mind with a happy smile. And now let's move our awareness to the neck and throat. And just remaining that felt sense, those muscles right at the base of the skull going right down into the shoulders. And try to relax and soften the neck and throat. let's move our awareness to our shoulders. Outer shoulders, upper shoulders. Holding our attention and the conscious effort to relax and soften the shoulders. This is where we carry the weight of the world and the weight of our lives. And so it's nice to give them a little attention and to relax and soften the shoulders, utilizing each and every breath, breathing in, making sure the shoulders are staying relaxed and soft, and when exhaling, deepening, calming, and relaxing the shoulders. And let's go down the arms, beginning with the upper arms, shoulders to the elbows. And just moving mind's attention along, noticing whatever sensations are noticeable, maybe on the skin or whatever it might be. And just relax and soften the upper arms. And again, you can keep a general felt sense of how the upper arms feel, or you can go into a little systematic way without getting too overly analytical and getting caught up in trying to visualize the anatomy. And maybe we just, in a simple way, we become aware of our biceps and our triceps, those tendons going along down the side of the arms, just keeping it very simple. Let's moving to our lower arms from the elbows to the wrists. And relaxing, softening the lower arms. And now to our hands. I always like to spend a few moments at the hands. There's lots of little muscles. And these hands have done many things in our lives. They waved hello to our loved ones. They waved goodbye to our friends and loved ones. They helped people up. They helped pull us up when we were down. Helped us give many things. Helped us receive many things. Pulled us along through life. Pushed us along through life. And so it's nice to just give them a little attention and relax and soften the hands. Going back up, upper arms. Lower arms. And to the upper arms. to our shoulders, and now let's include the upper torso, front and back, and the sides. Just holding our attention, or holding mind's attention to the upper torso. And we make the conscious effort to relax and soften the upper torso. I always find this part of the body scan very, very soothing, very comforting, and very relaxing. So let's just take a couple moments here, utilizing the in-breath and utilizing the out-breath. And now let's move our attention to the lower torso, front, back, and sides. Going along the spine, right down into our very lower back, our abdomen, stomach muscles. And again, relax and soften lower torso. And now to our hips and thighs, relaxing, softening hips and thighs. And to the upper legs, from the hips to the knees. And relaxing, softening those large muscles in the legs, very big muscles, big strong tendons, lots of blood flow. And to relax and soften the upper legs. And just maintaining that felt sense of the upper legs in the mind. Moving to our lower legs from the knees to the ankles. And now to our feet. And the Feet are very much like the hands, lots of little muscles and nerves in the feet. So you can keep a general felt sense, or you can be a little more systematic. Tops of the feet, the bottom of the feet, the heels, the arches, the ball, and the toes. One toe at a time. Completely up to you. And we make the effort to relax and soften the feet. Now let's expand our awareness to a whole body awareness. The bottom of our feet to the top of our head. And what we want to do is just maintain a felt sense of the body in the sitting posture. And so we're focusing mind's attention on the felt sense of the body. And so I get lots of questions. What do I do with fear? What do I do with anxiety? What do I do with strong emotions during the day, or if I'm watching the news, or late at night when I can't sleep? This is what we do when we have the awareness that there is emotion and a cognitive dissonance or stress in the mind. This is the technique. And there are 4 aspects to it. It's the hub of the practice. It is the foundational piece. Bring our awareness to whole body awareness. And we can do this anytime, any place, anywhere, because our body is always with us. While maintaining whole body awareness, what is one of the main things we are naturally aware of? The movement of the body as we are inhaling and exhaling. So while maintaining the whole body awareness, we also want to be aware of the movement, and wherever that is most visible to you. Not a narrow focus just at the tips of the nostrils or just the abdomen, but just the main body of breath in our awareness. So let's just take a moment to try to really steady and stabilize the mind and this awareness of this particular part of our experience. It's not something we have to think about. It involves some cognition, but we don't have to think about this. It is just becoming aware of something. Now, this next step is very important. It's the way and the technique in which we can really strengthen and cultivate mind's attention. So we are strengthening mindfulness and attention, mindful attention. And we strengthen that by when breathing in, there's a silent inner knowing. This is the in-breath. It's just that deep, silent inner knowing or inner awareness. Right now, this is the in-breath. And when breathing out, we know this is the out-breath. And even though we are mindfully breathing in and out, and we hear sounds, we're aware of the sounds, but it doesn't pull the bulk of our attention away. We could stay in this embodied awareness. We could maintain an awareness of the movement and that knowing when breathing in and out. And I challenge you to really strengthen this knowing, really strengthen the quality of our attention. And we could do that by seeing how fully and clearly we stay with the in and out breathing. The very beginning of the in-breath. This is the in-breath till the end, and staying with the out-breath until the very end. And so it's a subtle aspect of our experience, but we use it to really strengthen these mental qualities. Breathing in, silent inner knowing, this is the in-breath. And when breathing out, silent inner knowing, out-breath, and staying with the breath until the end. And then also we make the conscious effort to relax. Relax the whole body when breathing in, and relaxing and calming the whole body when breathing out. So we are beginning to fully comprehend the experience of mindful breathing. It begins to have some depth and some clarity to it. And so when we realize there's anxiety in the mind or fear or racing thoughts, this is where we turn mind's attention. We turn mind's attention away from the thinking or the images, past and future, that is giving rise to these emotions. And where are we going to put it? We bring it to the whole body. We bring it to the movement, and then we relax the whole body. So we can use this technique in many, 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 many situations. And this is why it is called the hub of the practice. H-U-B, the hub. And so a little bit on distractions before we practice in silence. The mind will wander off the breathing, off the breath, and the awareness of the whole body. And it happens very fast, and we might not be aware of it. But then we do become aware, we're thinking about tomorrow, next week, later today, or yesterday, last year, 10 years. Right? That is not mindfulness. That is just memory and imagination. But there is the return of mindfulness when we realize we are lost in thought and images. So it's important to pause for a moment and say, okay, I see you, wandering mind. And in a very intentional, patient, and mindful way, we turn our attention away from that distraction and then come back into the whole body. And the reason why we want to bring mindful awareness to this process, because this is the space in which we can begin to soften our old emotional habits. If we don't bring mindful awareness to this part of the process, what happens? The mind jumps out again, we hurry up and bring it back, and then the mind jumps out. That's the nature of mind. And so that usually causes more tightness and tension in both the body and the mind. So this smiling recognition, I got you. You see the monkey. And then we bring it back. So if you wish, let's practice in silence until the bell. Well done, everyone. In the instruction today, we basically were talking about implementing the way we return to our body and the breathing after the distraction. If you notice, there wasn't much instruction on psychoanalyzing where the mind goes, just simply seeing it all as a distraction, because it is at that point. When we are practicing mindfulness or breathing, we're really trying to, first and foremost, become calm and become peaceful, right? And so the meditation that we practice is also called serenity and insight meditation, meaning calm and insight. And the analogy I shared before is like we have to think of water, right? Very difficult to see our own reflection in the water or to see into the water when there's wind blowing across the top or if it is boiling and so on. So it's when the water becomes very calm that we can begin to see our own reflection more clearly, and we can also see, more importantly, well, the water is calm. What is it that agitates it? If we're in a constant state of agitation, it's really tough to see that. It's kind of like trying to see the cloud when you are in it. Very difficult to do. So our topic that we've been getting into is called the hindrances. And they are just that. They are going to hinder us from really developing any peace and tranquility in the heart and in the mind. And it's also what will disturb our peace and tranquility. So there is a point in the practice where we want to start to be able to recognize this, which is essentially the content of the mind. What is the content of our distractions? Where is the mind going? Now, it's important to not have a hypersensitivity to think that we have to identify every single little thought. Right? So the hindrances, there are 5 basically. So when our mind goes somewhere, and you can investigate this for yourself. I'm a skeptic, so I have to investigate things to really see if they're true or not. Right? So when the mind goes to certain places, it goes to the same few places. This is what was really wonderful about really starting to see the nature of mind, because it is the nature of mind. It has very fundamental characteristics and behaviors to it. And so when the mind goes out, it either starts to think and get caught up in some sort of sensual pleasure. An example would be sitting here meditating. Oh, I'm thinking about my 3 o'clock glass of wine. Oh, I'm thinking about my afternoon ice cream. Oh, it's really hot today. I'm going to have 2 today. Yes. I walked yesterday. I walked this morning for an extra 5 minutes. So I can have 2 ice creams today and not even feel guilty about it, right? So that is one way. And it has a degree. It could be subtle, and it could also be very, very strong, too. The next one is aversion, a type of aversion towards something, an agitation, a dislike. Now, this could completely, it doesn't matter if the mind goes to the past or if the mind goes to the future, right? Those are pictures. Memory image comes up, fantasy comes up, but then the hindrances will be present in the picture show of the mind. So aversion, something in the past, something coming down the road. Oh, I have to go to my sister-in-law's holiday, birthday thing, and I don't really want to go, whatever it might be, right? Third one, like a drowsy, lethargic state. The body feels very heavy, the mind gets very cloudy. The fourth one is restlessness and worry, right? A hyper state, very energetic mind, but it has no focus. And then the last one is doubt. So these are the 5 hindrances. And investigate that and see, commit these to the mind and see when I, start to pay attention. Now, again, this is very important. There are times to really start working with the hindrances, but that's not all the time. sometimes we just need to see it as a distraction and let it all go and come back and focus on breathing and relaxing, because right now I'm a little tense. I have a little anxiety and stress, and I'm not in a position to really be thinking about my thinking. I've been thinking about my thinking all week. I want to stop, right? So we have to use our own discernment to say when it is a time to begin to start working with the hindrances. So time, I just saw the clock kind of snuck up on me, so I was hoping to get into dealing with restlessness and worry today, so we will get into restlessness and worry when we return. And so basically the thing about why do we want to begin to identify these hindrances? Because what they are basically, right, desires, aversion, drowsy, dull mind, restlessness and worry, anxiety, and doubt. These are all emotions. So these are basic emotional arousals that come up in the mind. So the reason why we want to be able to become aware of this, because now we can start to work with these old emotional patterns that we have in the mind. And so when we can begin to identify them, we have certain techniques and things that we can do to begin to, first of all, not get so caught up and swept away by them, dragged around by our emotions, right? Always getting dragged around by our emotions. And also, we're able to see them more quickly. The more we can get familiar with this practice and our mindfulness is improving, so we don't spend so much time caught up. And when we do realize, we can, in a skillful way, start to come back to calm and peace. So I think one thing that is very common, a very common technique that's at the core of working with the hindrances, and I get questions all the time. I had this question for myself many years ago. What do I do with the fear? What do I do with the anxieties? What do I do with the worries, right? Exactly what we practice here today. We have to turn our attention away, come back into the body, the breathing, and to intentionally calm and relax the body. That is central. So you could do that at those early AM hours when you wake up and the mind is going and then there's emotion. You could do that in the afternoon when you put the news on and you're watching the news for an hour straight. You might want to turn your attention away from that at one point and just focus on relaxing. So this is the very practical piece and central. So don't leave your meditation and what you're practicing here in the room on the cushion. Take it with you. Take it with you and start to implement this in your lives, right? And that's why we begin with the body and the breathing, because it's with us all the time. It's with us all the time. Speaking of time, I'm running over time. So let's end in the usual way if you wish. Hopefully we have a cool mind and we try to open the heart. And how do we open the heart? Well, we start to think of living beings, right? Not only our loved ones and our near and dear friends, but we want to open up the heart so that it includes all living beings, because we know their happiness is just as important as my own. So if you wish, we put our lotus buds at heart center and we say, may all beings be well. May all beings be happy. And may all beings be peaceful. Okay, namaste. Thank you kindly. Everyone have a wonderful day and a good weekend, and I'll see you next time.